Hi friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. Today we continue our Clone Wars history series with our second year of the war. It is 21 BBY. In our last episode, we covered the Battle of Felucia. The Separatists and the Republic fought a long and grueling battle for the planet. Covered in exotic and wild mushroom forests, Felucia had tons of natural resources, including the very valuable herb known as Nicillian, which could be used for healing. Chapter 4. Stealing Jedi Babies. After disobeying orders for the second time in a month, Ahsoka Tano is taken off the front lines by the Jedi Council. Probably a wise decision. Ahsoka has already almost killed herself several times, along with several other clones, and at least one admiral. She means well, but she's clearly way too young for the battlefield.
Masters, this incident is my responsibility. Because of Ahsoka's advanced abilities, I forgot how young she is. I gave her more freedom than I should have.
If a girl as young as Ahsoka Tano is fighting here on Earth, it would definitely be a violation of the Geneva Convention. And the Jedi would be prosecuted for war crimes. But what do we know? We're primitive people, right? Anyway, Mace Windu and Yoda decided to temper the Padawan by assigning her guard duty in the Jedi Archives, and yes, that's even more boring than it sounds because no one attacks a library inside of a Jedi Temple. Still, it's a good opportunity for Ahsoka to have some mentorship under someone besides Anakin. The Jedi Knight means well, but he and Ahsoka suffer from the same problems. They're both too skilled, and things come way too easy to them. That makes them impulsive and impatient. Master Jokosa Nu, the head librarian, is basically the opposite of that. The Jedi Archives are not only a library, but sort of a giant safe for all the treasures, trinkets, and artifacts the Jedi Order has collected over the years. And this rendition of the Jedi Temple has stood untouched since it was sacked by the Sith Empire almost 4,000 years ago. The archives are full of millions of documents, holovids, and holocrons, which contain tons of information, some of it forbidden, and others widely taught to the Jedi Order. The head of security for the archives was tasked with keeping these documents safe. Most of the time, this just meant preventing over-curious Padawan from accessing dark side manuscripts and journals. But then again, not even the Master Librarian knew where everything was. If you're getting a Harry Potter vibe right now, so am I. But fortune would have it that on this particular day when the Jedi Council decided to assign a very talented Padawan to guard the archives, a very talented thief and bounty hunter by the name of Cad Bane was also interested in robbing the archives. The Duros had been hired by none other than Darth Sidious to break into the archives to steal a particular holocron. Holocrons were these crystalline items that the Jedi and Sith used to record knowledge and lessons on. Some holocrons, especially Sith ones, could even trap the essence or soul of the writer within it. This is why Sith holocrons were considered pretty dangerous, especially for an untrained young Padawan. The holocrons were relatively secure data storage devices. It usually required force powers to access the information inside. Sometimes you would also need a kyber crystal key to open it after you actually open it with the force. Cad Bane was after a very, very special holocron. You see, the Jedi Order in canon kept information of all potential Force users in the galaxy on one holocron. They did this by using federal medical records. Usually there were blood tests done that could show what a person's midichlorian levels were. If they had levels that were high enough, they would be flagged. Also, sometimes the Jedi Council would come together and collectively meditate and try to find Force users across the galaxy, a la Professor X. The holocrons was sort of a Rolodex of sales leads, but instead of making sales, Jedi Seekers would use these leads to steal, recruit Force-sensitive babies to their cause. Darth Sidious, aka Chancellor Palpatine, as the elected leader of the Republic, had a responsibility to recollect these Force-sensitive babies and then surgically alter them and turn them into dark side assassins. So it was out of the frying pan onto the lava planet for these babies. But Cad Bane wasn't stupid. He didn't immediately take this job because he knew it was almost impossible to break into a Jedi Temple. Being a security guard for the Jedi Archives is boring because only a complete fool would ever think of breaching the temple. First, you have to get past the local Coruscant police guarding the outside of the temple. During more tense periods, even clone troopers might be deployed outside the temple for extra security. Inside the temple were the Jedi Temple guards. These were anonymously selected Jedi Knights who devoted their lives to defending the Order. They definitely could go toe-to-toe with a Sith Lord, so facing a bounty hunter, even one as skilled as Cad Bane, probably wouldn't be a huge problem for them. Along with that, there were tons of special locks and security devices within the temple that could only be triggered by the Force. So it comes to no surprise that Cad Bane had a long list of demands for Darth Sidious, including asking for triple the pay, along with a very special and expensive Rogue-class starfighter. Manufactured by Bactoid Armor Workshop, these were the preferred starcrafts of the Magna Guard droids. Cad Bane's version of the ship was supposed to be specially equipped with a cloaking device and special weapons package. Very people ever demanded anything from Darth Sidious and survived, let alone got what they actually wanted. Cad Bane happened to be one of those people. He was skilled enough at his job to not die. Palpatine also had an entire blueprint and map of the building, along with a security chip that could hack into the Jedi Temple security system. The bounty hunter's team consisted of his helper droid Toto 360, who he equipped with a bomb, and another bounty hunter, Cato Parasiti, who was a shape-shifting Claudite. Bane had been tipped off by Palpatine about an old Jedi Master who had been fighting in the Outer Rim named Master Innocence. Bane had murdered the Skrilling Jedi, and now Cato could take his form and voice by touching his corpse, and could walk right through the temple's front door as a Jedi Master. Toto 360 would help Bane infiltrate the Jedi Temple's ventilation system, but they still needed someone inside the temple to help them out. Everything goes smoothly for the Claudite until she enters the archives, where she encounters an overly bored Padawan looking desperately for something to do. Like a lot of people on their first day of work, Ahsoka Tano was just trying to be as helpful as possible, which really annoys Master Innocence and makes him snap at her, which is actually a very un-Jedi thing to do. Odd that Ahsoka can't sense that Innocence was actually Cato. Perhaps the shapeshifter also could mask themselves in the Force, which definitely makes her shape-shifting power a lot more intense than just the polyjuice potion. Meanwhile, Yoda senses a disturbance in the Force. Intruders are trying to break into the temple. This was just another layer of security that we haven't mentioned yet. Anakin and Obi-Wan Kenobi think that the intruders are after the communication codes in the Jedi Communication Tower. With these codes, the Separatists would be able to predict all of the Republic's movements. Meanwhile, Innocence has reached the archive computers, helps Toto and Bane infiltrate the temple through the ventilation shaft, and helps them navigate a series of obstacles. But then head librarian Jocasta Nu interrupts the shapeshifter, questioning why he was working when the temple was in high alert. The Claudite quickly reacts and knocks out Jocasta Nu, taking her form. Anakin and Obi-Wan have now entered the ventilation and were on Bane's tail. They momentarily go the wrong way, thinking the intruders are still after the communication center. Yoda's senses are powerful. He's able to sense that the intruders are disguised as the head librarian and warns Ahsoka. So it is possible maybe for a powerful Jedi to see right through a Claudite's disguise. Ahsoka engages Jocasta in a duel, and the bounty hunter is surprisingly good with the weapon and holds her own for a while, but she is ultimately captured by the Padawan. Cato confesses about what she was up to. Ahsoka warns Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin that Bane is after the holocrons. But Bane has set up a series of explosions, including one in his droid, which will serve as a great distraction and leads the Jedi to the communication center. Bane is able to break into the holocron vault and makes it out of the Jedi Temple with a list of Jedi babies, which was a really bad thing for the Jedi. Babies, like small dogs, are very easy to steal and then hide because they are small and weak. Cato proves to be the most mercenary bounty hunter ever and quickly alerts the Jedi to Bane's next plans. He's going to meet a Jedi named Bula Rapol. The name quickly draws the attention from Mace Windu. Bula Rapol is the keeper of the Kyber Crystal, which unlocks the holocron full of Jedi babies. Just to clarify, the babies are not physically inside the holocron. It's not like a Pokeball. It just has a list of where they might be. Bula Ropa is the keeper of the Kyber Crystal, which unlocks the holocron full of Jedi babies. Cad Bane tracks down Bula Ropa to Deveron and has managed to capture the Jedi Master, and now is holding him hostage. But without a Jedi's force powers, the holocron still can't be opened and unlocked with the Kyber Crystal. Ropal valiantly refuses to open the holocron and ultimately is killed by Bane. But that was okay because Cad Bane had another plan. Anakin and his Padawan Ahsoka Tano were about to reach his new base. Bane knew that Anakin and Ahsoka were not like the average Jedi. They had a very close connection. The Jedi is far too noble to save themselves in order to open up a holocron, but they might have problems with sacrificing someone else's life for that holocron. Knowing this, Bane cuts Anakin off from Ahsoka and manages to stun the Padawan with some stun clefs he had hidden up his sleeves. Using Ahsoka as leverage, Cad Bane forces Anakin to open up the holocron. This is clearly one of Anakin's biggest weaknesses, and it'll haunt him more and more as he grows older and develops more connections and emotional bonds with different people. Anakin is never willing to give up those who he loves, and in my opinion that makes him more of a man and a better person than most Jedi, but it's clearly against the Order's ideology. Cad Bane is able to escape again, this time disguised as a clone trooper wearing full armor. With a list of future Jedi babies in his possession, Lord Sidious tasks Cad Bane to hunt down the babies and take them back to a secret base on Mustafar. The Jedi Council once again used their immense power in the Force to look for disturbances and managed to isolate 3 Jedi babies they think the bounty hunter will target. Bane had already managed to take a Rodian baby from Coruscant, but the Jedi managed to reach a Gungan baby on Naboo before the bounty hunter can get there. When Bane finally arrives, instead of seeing a baby, he comes face to face with a very Ahsoka Tano who manages to capture him this time around. Bane is unwilling to tell the Jedi where he's taken the other babies. So Obi-Wan and Anakin use a very unethical technique and basically force the information out of him. It's similar to what Kylo Ren does to Poe Dameron in The Force Awakens. But I guess it's not evil when the good guys do it, right? Using Bane as a guide, the Jedi rush to Mustafar. Unfortunately, Skywalker reports to Palpatine about the kidnapping plot. Obi-Wan Kenobi had fought against revealing this information to the Chancellor. He considered this an internal Jedi issue, but ultimately Mace Windu overruled him and said it was probably a good idea to let the Chancellor know that someone was stealing babies in his Galactic Republic. This, of course, alerts Palpatine, who was in the process of conducting surgery on the Jedi babies and turning them into Sith assassins. The Jedi manage to save the babies before they are melted by lava, but they are unable to uncover who is behind this messed up plot. So there you have it, guys. This episode really delved into kind of how the Jedi Order recruited and how the Jedi Temple was secured. As you can see, there are a lot of great security measures built in. And it also shows us that Cad Bane was probably one of the best bounty hunters to have ever lived during this period of time, even better than the Fets, in my opinion. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on the rest of our Clone Wars history series. In our next episode, we go to Malastare for the Battle of Malastare and the discovery of the Zillo Beast. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.